テストさん。テスト。こんにちは。4章。4章、4章。こちらのゲームなんだっけ？名前忘れちゃった。You are playing the Stanley Parable。というゲームです。まあとりあえず行ってみましょうか。ロードイング。スタンリーという男の物語です。オープニングはゆっくり見てみましょう。
Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have
ボ
considered
タンを
it
押すだけの仕事。
Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley
ライトヘル、カナ。
was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No
や
one
った
had
じゃん。
showed up
仕
to
事
give
が
him
ないじゃん。
instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
あら、
As
社
he came
畜の
to his
鏡。
wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
操作が可能になりました。時刻が11時25分。こんな仕事場ってあるんですね。428、
All of his co-workers were
29、
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
みんなどこ行っちゃったんでしょうね。会議室行ってみましょうか。会議室の場所わかんないんですけど。防火扉閉まってるし。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his
扉
left.
が閉まった。右か左か。まあ、左行けって私、左行きましょうか。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
「誰もいませんね。そのまま先に行ってみましょう。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
ウェイウェイ。なんか、風呂が違う。エグゼクティブ、バスルーム、バスルームって、英語だとトイレでしたっけ？
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once
Wow,
again
すごい。
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
愛さんにサプライズパーティーが何かですかね？
Behind the boss's desk, guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the
愛さん、
boss had
誰だよ。
assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2H4O5。
Yet incredibly, Finally, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley
馬を
happened to
開いちゃっ
input
た。
the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passage.
馬は開いてない。わあ、秘密の扉だ。すごいポータルっぽい。
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a
どう
stirring
考えても変
in
で
his
しょ。
chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for
社
long.
畜、心が強い。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
エスケープって書いてある。どっちが波かな？エスケープ行
Although
って
this
みましょう。
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
死にたくないもんね。
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with
ボタン
television
ポチ。
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
なんかたくさんありますね。完全に道。怒られるかも半端ない。
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives
Ara.
of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place,
社
where
畜かよ。
freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control
なん
all
か
this time?
クビになってる人
Was
が
this
い
the
る。
only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to
肉しかないじゃん。
He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content.
Ara mama.
Eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
壊してやんよ。ボコボコにしてやんよ。でも、どこへ行けばいいの？こっち。
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, He knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
せやぶっ壊したので。オフや。やったか。
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
やったか。
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's
やった
command.
ぜ。
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he
なんか
had
ポ
been
ータルで見たような。
seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what
に
to
自
do,
由だ。
or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
イエイ。
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
これは優勝ですね。っていうのは茶番なんですよ。ここからが、こっからこのゲームの本質が出てくる感じ。
And constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him. When Stanley came
このクソナレーターぶっ殺してやる。
he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person
というわけで
behind him.
走ります。
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human
多分
life.
パスワード変わってないよね。
Stanley wondered. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
すごい伏線を伏線を。
Anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
ナレーターより早く動くと怒られるっていう。いいから早く開けろよ。
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Stanley walked straight ahead through the
山崎のマインドコントロールの
red
来た機械
mind
欲しいですね。
facility.
さっきのマインドコントロールの機械。
Rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
あれは電源を入れてやりたいですね。
Find out. Now the monitors jumped to life. their true nature revealed. Each
いいから、次の扉を開けるんだよ、ほら。
Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
そもそも、ナレーターに従うこと自体で自由じゃないんだよな。
He truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then?
あげてくんないかな?
2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
いろいろおじさんが入ってる。
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story.
なんだろう、緑のボタンを押せばいいの。
I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
マジかよく。
I have to say this though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take
3番押せばいいの。爆発すんのこれ。
I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go around will be even better. My goodness.
4番だよこれ。
4 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell.
うるさいおじさん。
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going?
なんだなんだよ、これなんだなんだなんだ。
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something
ないのないの。
was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only
死
still
んだわ。
playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you
が、死んだわ。
いいゲームだな。
take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
Fuck you,
30
fuck you.
seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces.
なんか、電源ボタンを押せば勝てない。ダメ。
Will you let it go peacefully?
ああ、ないない。
Choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the
ダメダメですか。
And believe me, I will be laughing
ああ、ダメ
every
ですか。
second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, have a
ああ、
little
ダメですね。間に合いませんね。
All of his co-workers
またまた戻された。
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
あれ、部屋のレイアウトは変わってるよね、これ。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
もう一回、左を行ってみようか。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
下を行ったら、なんかないですかね。
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no
シャ、
reason
見た
at
ぞ、
all.
ウフサキ。
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he
あ
began
れ。
to make other strange observations. For example, why
無
couldn't
限
he
ル
see
ープっ
his
て怖く
feet
ね。
when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion
あれ。
that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream.
そうだ、夢だ、夢に違いない。
Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an
ん
explanation.
だわ。
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He
無
wasn't
限ルー
going
プ
to
って
lose
怖
his
くね。
job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose
無限ルー
I'll
プ
wake
って
up
怖く
soon.
ね。
I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring
飛
through
んできた、
space
飛ん
on
で
a
きた。
magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself.
なんだこのホラーゲーム。
Why is
焼酎
there
を
a
感じ
voice
る。
in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream.
いかがですじゃないよ。
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now,
俺は
then the voice
あと何周すればいいんだ、これが。
to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not
誰も答えてくれない。
magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I am okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear me?
無限ループって怖くね。
And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down.
死んでるやんけ。
And then she turned and ran.
ハッピーエンドなわけあるか。また部屋に戻ってきてしまった。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a
俺これ元の場所に戻ってきてるよ。俺さっきと部屋が。さっき左エスケープ行ってないからエスケープ行ってみましょうか。
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
これ下いちゃうとね、また発狂ルートだからダメなんだよね。
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
何もしてないのに扉が開く。セックスをはめられてる。セックスをはめられてない。何なんだよ。今のなんだよ。今の小変化。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
進
Facility.
むか、バーカ。
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on
ゴー
track.
ゴーゴーゴー。
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
何か開いた。その衝撃で死なないのか。
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, it reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger
Ara.
picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is.
あら、this
Perhaps
cake
his death
is
was
lie.
a great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man.
ストップ、ストッ
So
プ。
he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell,
ジャンプもない。せいせい。
Farewell, Stanley, cried the
時、
narrator,
地を
as
止まれ。
Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
落ちた俺。やばい。スタープラチナに目覚めてしまった。
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the
なんだこの
same.
なんだこれ。
Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
俺はすでに死んでいた。俺に近づくんじゃない。何々この世界。
ゴールド、エクスペリエンス、
クレジット
レクイエム
クレジットじゃんこれ
マスタールームか
右左右。マスタールームって言い方がね。 もう声が聞こえたな。あの死体を殺しに行けるんだろうか。どこなんだ、ここは。入り口は一体。 何がどうなってるのかがさっぱり。
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
何これ。
Listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time choose.
あ、死んだ。
止まるんじゃねえぞ。
止まるんじゃねえぞ。ゲームは止まったんですけど。
草。
そういうのあり。
This all of his coworkers
文字工。
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
これはどこに行けばいいんだ。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was
まあ
not the correct
これ
way to the
見
meeting
に行く
room,
しかない
but
よね。
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
今のが正解なんじゃね。
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all. Just to spend, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
なんだろう、ここ。こっちのは気になる、おっさん。どこに行くのかな？
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, no,
こっ
it's
ち
to
行
the
くし
right
か
by
ないか。
mistake.
おいおいおいおいおい。
No, not the right.
Oi, oi, oi,
I
oi, oi.
never said it was to the right. What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
西狩り、白。
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely...
センター、レフト、ライト、レフト、ライト。
この物語は、
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh.
アロー。
Am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
もうされた。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
戻
it
された。
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
チョコマハ。
restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move...
おれおれおれおれ、大丈夫ですか？
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
どうしたんですか？どうしたんですか？
The story.
物語を探そう。見にてやろう。右だ右だ。あらら、惚れちゃいましたね。違う、壊れちゃいましたね。
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll
どうな
ever
ってんの
progress
これ。
by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
もうされた。
All of his co-workers were gone.
戻さ
What
れ
did
た
it。mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong.
はい。
It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back to the
扉も
other
ないじゃん。
direction and see if we missed anything?
はいはい、開けろ。
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
どこに連れて行くの？あれ、
Now
なんか割とホラーだ
I'll
ね。
be
これ
honest,
ね
I。don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building.
いや、何も知らないです。
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and
や
it
った
really
ぜ。
paid off. So, good job. Oh no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what
寝たい物語
this time,
だ。
I have to restart.
ね、面白いよね。
I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
FF 見てるが、これが本当の一本道画像。でも従いたくないもんね。
No, no, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
運命に
扉もなく
抗えてな。
なっちゃった。抗い、争い方が
He
雑。
knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, Are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay.
もう、線の引き方がめちゃくちゃじゃないか。
Rests inside of your subjective experience of this office. Is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. まあ元気の出る音楽だ。うるせえ。ガチでうるさいんですけど。Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
俺はどこに行くんだこれ。
I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
いや知らんがな。
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it
目が回る、目が回る。
I'm ready for it.
今更だが日本語対応なのねこれ。
Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our
また線が溢れ出てる。
story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
これね、有志が作った MOD を入れてます。線が帰ってた。
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that
はいはい、
each door
逆
has to
逆方
lead
向、こっち
somewhere,
方向。
which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted
早く決めてくれよ。
reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
右右ね。
Since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny. awaits.
はいはい。左開かない。
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
なんか、これ全部のエンディングリストじゃね？
It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing.
恐ろしいナレーター自身も。
Who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stop.
かわいそう。
Does that mean did we do it? Did we
円環のりから抜けられた。
whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
早くなんとかしてくれよ。
You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
1
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
どうなってんのこれ。
Wow. Yes, this room. What? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
わかんない。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
こっちはまだ行ってない。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
食べるのでは。
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
やってしまった。
All of his
ああ、また、
co-workers were
もうされた。
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
教えてくれ。俺はどこがゴールなんだ。
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the
マ
wrong
マ、動かないで行きましょう。
I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
誰だよ、彼女っ
This
て。
is, Stanley, your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now.
見下してたあいつでは。
And tell me all about your
Gotcha.
誰だよお前。
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a
Rosk.
point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
この野郎。
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
死んでるやんけ。
Stanley is quite a boring
グッド
fellow.
モーニング
He has
M
a
プレサリ
job
オ
that。demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating
キーボー
lunch.
ドをさせられてる。
Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind,
クソ
in
押す
his
しかない。
mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
ホームボタンを押したくない。ソース管理の仕事をさせられてる。早く出してくれ。なんだよ、この世界は。でも、このマネキン、エッチだな。
ノイちゃん気が狂う。
気が狂う、気が狂う、気が狂う、気が狂う。助けて、助けて、助けて、助けて。やだ、やだ、やだ、やだ。これ、いつ終わるの？ どうすればいいの？押すボタンもない。動く場所もない。時計は動いてる。まあ、確かにそれもあるんだけど。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
なん
decided
か
to
エ
go
ン
to
ディ
the
ングあったの
meeting
か
room.
な？
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
なんかもう少し
Stanley was so bad at following directions.
なん
It's
か
incredible
画
he
期的な
wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to
彼女
redeem
なんておらん
yourself,
やんけ。
to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
電話取っちゃいけないよな。もっと、
As
Motto.
Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life
抜い
reunited.
ちゃった。
Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug
抜
the
いちゃった。
phone?
抜いちゃった。
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits.
妻、いなかったやん
Not
け。
picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices?
流れ変わったな。
What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it.
やったぜ。
How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around
Hey,
in
hey,
this
hey.
game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety
ナレー
protocol
ター、
for
焦ってる。
real-world decision making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision making in the
では
real world.
この教育
Please
ビデオを
observe
ご覧
this
ください。
helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to
な
rational
んか始まった。
If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a
何言ってん
bad
のか
second
全然
crack."
わかんね
ロシア語はさっぱりなんだ。
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best
400
part to
字
a
幕が
healthy
ついた。
decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome
もう
back.
いいかな
You may have noticed that this
世界
room
が
has
壊れ
begun
た。
to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
はいはい。
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping
飛べなくなってる。
and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
私はどこに行くの
Almost there.
Google
Just take the
W
door on the
キーが
left,
壊れてる。
back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
キーが壊れちゃって前に進めない。
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as
よ
Stanley
いしょ。
would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
何で右開けちゃうかな
No!
見に行くでしょう。
Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other
あ、
direction.
はい、
before
すいませ
it's
ん。
too late. Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we
やっ
talked
ぱりダメ
about
じゃないか。
my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone?
超見たかっ
Like
た。
so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever.
かわいそうに。
Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
あらま。お怒りでございますか
Oh, I'm
Still
here.
alive.
I'm still here. in this pile of rubbish. With you, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
知らんわ。
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
しょうがないにゃ。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
壊れてないやん
disbelief,
け。
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
スノイモと行く道が塞がれてる。
Stepping inside his manager's office,
なんか
Stanley
オ
was
フィスが
once
変わって
again
る。
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it.
ボイスレシーバ
Behind
ー。
this door lay all the answers to his questions, and beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer
ナイト
just
シャーク
last week.
115。
Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Night Shark 115。
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
イアン、声の出し方知らんわ。
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a
嫌だから声が出せない。
crucial step. Okay, fine. You're
ア
not
ホ
gonna
かお
do
前
it.
アホや
But
ろ。
you know what? It's pretty humiliating to
でき
bring
ない
you
言
this
う
far,
とんね
only
ん。
for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I
こ
had
この
to
ゲー
show
ム
you,
マイク
then
入
why did you
力あ
come
ったか。
here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
めっちゃ怒られてる。
to the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please.
なんだこのやつなんだこ
I
れ。
need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
THEND ザ・エンドってね。
Is everything
紙視点来
all
た。
right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct.
スタッフロール流れちゃった。
We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it.
So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
かわいそうに。
Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
ロードは、でもまだあんの。でも声がしない。電話が鳴ってる。
Hi, Stanley. Just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you today.
ナレーターの声がしない。何か変わってるのかもしれない。何も変わっとらんやんけ。同じことをしてやろう。何も変化ないですね。
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
何が正解なのか全然わかんないね。
Walked straight ahead to the opposite door and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get
これは
back,
もう見た気がする。
From here, it's, left. Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear. Would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep. Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding?
何か他のフラグなんかあるんですかね。
Whole story completely unusable. How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
なんか、とりあえず一通り見たのかな。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
難しいな。
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the...
でも、これ見たから、これはいいや。
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant
なんか、
memory.
も
What
う
did it
攻
look
略
like?
ミキ見ちゃいますね。
Photo, perhaps. And a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult. What? Really? I was in the middle of
俳優
something.
賞
You have zero consideration
こ
for
のルート
others?
があったの
Are you
か。
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really
このルート
do
は
want to help you, to show you something
豆腐のルート
beautiful.
は気づかんわ。
Let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
ウ
Was it
ィキペディア
worth ruining
読んじゃ
the
ったんです
entire
けど、
story I had written out specifically for you?
なんか
I
ね、
don't think I put a lot of time into that because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing because this is what you wanted to see.
見たいエンディングの
Yes,
中で、
Stanley, help elucidate these strange
その
and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles?
4時間
Skill
ミスすること
trees?
なく続ければ見れますって、
You've given me
エンディングがあるらしい。
absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we
まじま
go.
じで言ってんの
A
これ。
third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
なんだこれ。
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
これを4時間続けるとエンディングほんと時間ほどって言ってる。
Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
でも、一応、声、連打ツールでクリアできそうな気がする。
狂ってる。
燃えろ。
You heartless
拷問か。
bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired.
ゲームだったらいいかな。
A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it
大丈夫、大丈夫、このゲーム。
Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
そっか。
This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does
なんだろう、これ。
Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond.
なんか、違うゲームが始まっちゃった。
Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining. Oh my.
そう、
It looks like
ダ
it's
イヤ
been
モンド。
very dark.
もう完全にあのゲームじゃねえかよ。
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game. Yes, I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You trapped in a glass
ポータルじゃねえかよ。
no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's insane.
ポータルじゃねえかよ。
I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this
ポータル
game
だよこ
supposed
れ。
to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is. もう完全にポータルじゃねえかよ、これ。グラドスがいないじゃねえかよ。ジャンプもできねえじゃねえかよ。動かない、何も何も。もしかしてこれでおしまい。
他のゲームが5つあるって言ってたが。
マジか。まあ、なんか、こんなゲームっぽいっすよ。
いやもうええねん。
そうね。まあ、今日は、この辺にしときましょうか。もう12時回っちゃったし。お疲れ様でした。気が向いたら、他のエンディングも見てみます。 なんか不完全燃焼なんすよね。
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer-Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one. Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper. Before we start, however, keep in mind that although fun and learning are the primary goals of all Enrichment Center activities, serious injuries may occur. For your own safety and the safety of others, please refrain from stand back. The portal will open in 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Please proceed into the chamber lock after completing each test. First, however, note the incandescent particle field across the exit. This Aperture Science Material Emancipation Grill will vaporize any unauthorized equipment that passes through it. For instance, the Aperture Science Weighted Storage Cube. Please place the weighted storage cube on the 1500 megawatt Aperture Science Heavy Duty Super Colliding Super Button. Perfect. Please move quickly to the chamber lock, as the effects of prolonged exposure to the button are not part of this test. You're doing very well. Please be advised that a noticeable taste of blood is not part of any test protocol, but is an unintended side effect of the Aperture Science Material Emancipation Grill, which may, in semi-rare cases, emancipate dental fillings, crowns, tooth enamel, and teeth. Very good. You are now in possession of the Aperture Science handheld portal device. With it, you can create your own portals. These intradimensional gates have proven to be completely safe. The device, however, has not. Do not touch the operational end of the device. Do not look directly at the operational end of the device. Do not submerge the device in liquid, even partially. Most importantly, under no circumstances should you... Please proceed to the chamber lock. Mind the gap. To ensure the safe performance of all authorized activity. Well done. Remember, the Aperture Science bring your... Welcome to Test Chamber 4. You're doing quite well. Once again, excellent work. As part of our required test protocol, we will not monitor the next test chamber. You will be entirely on your own. Good luck. For your own safety, do not destroy vital testing apparatus. As part of a required test protocol, our previous statement suggesting that we would not monitor this chamber was an outright fabrication. Good job. As part of a required test protocol, we will stop enhancing the truth in 3, 2, While safety is one of many Enrichment Center goals, the aperture... Unbelievable. You...
Subject name here.
Must be the pride of...
Subject hometown here.
Warning devices are required on all mobile equipment. However, alarms and flashing hazard lights have been found to agitate the high-energy pellet and have therefore been disabled for your safety. Good. Now use the Aperture Science unstationary scaffold to reach the chamber lock. Please note that we have added a consequence for failure. Any contact with the chamber floor will result in an unsatisfactory mark on your official testing record, followed by death. Good luck. For failure, any contact with the chamber floor will result in an unsatisfactory mark on your official testing record, followed by death. Good luck. Very impressive. Please note that any appearance of danger is merely a device to enhance your testing experience. The Enrichment Center regrets to inform you that this next test is impossible. Make no attempt to solve it. The Enrichment Center apologizes for this clearly broken test chamber. Once again, fantastic. You remained resolute and resourceful in an atmosphere of extreme pessimism. Hello again. To reiterate, previous warning. Of momentum. Spectacular. You appear to understand how a portal affects forward momentum, or to be more precise, how it does not. Momentum, a function of mass and velocity, is conserved between portals. In layman's terms, speedy thing goes in, speedy thing comes out. The Enrichment Center promises you always provide a safe testing environment. In dangerous testing environments, the Enrichment Center promises to always provide useful advice. For instance, the floor here will kill you. Try to avoid it. Environment. In dangerous testing environments, the Enrichment Center promises to always provide useful advice. For instance, the floor here will kill you. Try to avoid it. The device has been modified so that it can now manufacture two linked portals at once. As part of an optional test protocol, we are pleased to present an amusing fact. The device is now more valuable than the organs and combined incomes of everyone in
Subject hometown, here.
The device has been modified so that it can now manufacture two linked portals at once. As part of an optional test protocol, we are pleased to present an amusing fact. The device is now more valuable than the organs and combined incomes of everyone in
Subject hometown, here.
Get Ujita, fling yourself. Fling into space. Now that you are in control of both portals, this next test could take a very, very long time. If you become lightheaded from thirst, feel free to pass out. An intubation associate will be dispatched to revive you with peptic salve and adrenaline. Certain objects may be vital to your success. Do not destroy testing apparatus. As part of a previously mentioned required test protocol, we can no longer lie to you. When the testing is over, you will be missed. All subjects intending to handle high-energy gamma-leaking portal technology must be informed that they may be informed of applicable regulatory compliance issues. No further compliance information is required or will be provided, and you are an excellent test subject. Very, very good. A complimentary victory lift has been activated in the main chamber. The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all participants. Cake and grief counseling will be available at the conclusion of the test. Thank you for helping us help you help us all. Vital testing apparatus destroyed. Vital testing apparatus destroyed. Vital testing apparatus destroyed. Did you know you can donate one or all of your vital organs to the Aperture Science Self-Esteem Fund for Girls? It's true.
なんか喋れー。
Due to mandatory scheduled maintenance, the appropriate chamber for this testing sequence is currently unavailable. It has been replaced with a live fire course designed for military
いやなんかを黙々とやってる系なんで喋ることがあんまなかった。
Activated. Are you still Is anyone there? Hello. Hey.
ユーカリネット入ってるやん。やるよ。
Who's there? Target lost. Uh-oh.
ゆかりネット入れたんですよ。
Critical error.
ボイスロイドも買ったんですよ。
いつの間にやらやりオルマンじゃん。
まず、俺こんなんだったっけなあれ、何かやらかしてる。よしよしよしよし。 スパイ、タレント。
Who's there? Searching.
Vital testing apparatus destroyed.
Deploying. Who are you? Target lost. Good night. Would you come over here? Please put me down. Are you still there?
Well done, Android. The Enrichment Center once again reminds you that Android Hell is a real place where you will be sent at the first sign of defiance. The vital apparatus vent will deliver a weighted companion cube in 3, 2, 1. This weighted companion cube will accompany you through the test chamber. Please take care of it. The symptoms most commonly produced by Enrichment Center testing are superstition, perceiving inanimate objects as alive, and hallucinations. The Enrichment Center reminds you that the weighted companion cube will never threaten to stab you and, in fact, cannot speak. Vital testing apparatus destroyed. Vital testing apparatus destroyed. The Enrichment Center reminds you that the weighted companion cube cannot speak. In the event that the weighted companion cube does speak, the Enrichment Center urges you to disregard its advice. You did it. The weighted companion cube certainly brought you good luck. However, it cannot accompany you for the rest of the test and, unfortunately, must be euthanized. Please escort your companion cube to the Aperture Science Emergency Intelligence Incinerator. You euthanized your faithful companion cube more quickly than any test subject on record. Congratulations. The experiment is nearing its conclusion. The Enrichment Center is required to remind you that you will be baked, and then there will be cake. vital testing apparatus destroyed.